solid matchup no matter what, and one I think we are all rightly excited for, not in the least because of the stakes at hand. The fact that one of them gets sent home and the other automatically finds themselves in the top 4, which means they're guaranteed to get into B-sides. At any rate, you can see the map pool on the slate there. As we sort of get into things with the map selection, it will be the first map pre-selected. The loser will pick the subsequent maps from there, and you can see what's available for each different game mode. Speaking of, that very first map for tonight is going to be Oasis. Loser picks subsequent map, 1st to 3. All pretty bog standard stuff by now.
In Ultra Prime, they haven't really had to do a lot of map picking outside of the initial matchup versus O2 Blast, so Kings Row is a map that they have previously chosen. They've chosen Colosseo now twice as well. Seems like a bit of a favorite for them. And they've also had some good wins on theirs own head. Over 100 meters capped versus O2 Blast, 119 capped versus Team Diamond. So it could be a pretty dangerous map to look forward to on map number 4. We do get that far into the series. And as you sort of mentioned as well, you know, I think these are very dire games because the stakes between winning and losing are pretty extreme. You lose, you're eliminated, but if you win, you make top 4. So, yeah, I don't think we've really had stakes so far, outside of maybe the game yesterday, the upper bracket final, where if you win, you go to the grand final. That feels like pretty high stakes. But given that this is an elimination game that determines your qualification path, not only through the rest of this bracket, but also next, you know, the B-sides kind of next season, right? That's a pretty big deal.
Exactly. Like, really what we're pointing out is it's the single biggest disparity in terms of outcomes for the winners and the losers in this and the next match of the night. That's why these are so crucial. And it's why we're, like we say, it's going to be a bit of a stonking one, because even if it's a 3-0, I would be surprised if it's an easy 3-0. This is a situation where you do not want to go down without a fight, not the least because if you have to qualify the long way into the B-sides to have a proper shot, you want to have had a good showing against the teams that you're likely to come up against in said B-sides. So, you know, let's say it is Panthera getting knocked out here. You'll want them to take it to 5, really, or at least they'll want it to be going to a 5. They want to have some kind of solid showing that gives them some future promise. You know, if they aren't going to be in A-sides any longer, it would have to be moving forward into B-sides. But Oasis, the starting map, you can see the soothing evening stroll. I like the little breeze through the palm fronds there. It really sets the scene of, you know, cool desert air.
I think having this map at night is a little bit more accurate in terms of where all the action is in the Middle East. Like, if this is anywhere near Dubai, I'm pretty sure most people do things at night, right? So, I don't know. I probably just made that up. I've never been. I can tell you.
I have, and I mean, we did go out during the daytime, which for someone of my complexion is a risk. I might add.
I was going to say that's quite dangerous.
It really was. But you know what was so funny is actually I was in Dubai and Kuwait during what was the winter for them, and it was like 28 degrees or something C, that is the proper measurement. So like quite warm. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, nor do I care to find out. And like we were all there wearing like our touristy, you know, shorts, shirts, etc. And the locals were wearing like gloves and scarves and beanies.
As long as you didn't go into the desert, because then you have to get your framing kit on, and we don't want to see that.
Yeah, yeah, it's too skin tight for me. And you have to drink your own pee.
Gross. Let's take a look at the opening lineups.
Dune is a very gross franchise. At any rate, though, it's gross negligence on the... I don't actually have a good segue there. I was hoping that I maybe would, but it's going to be a quick rollout. Spectra try to come around a bit of a flank here. As Panthera rotate in, we'll have to see what Spectra can find as they get right up onto the high ground. There's a big bump, but they are going to be just safe. The shout certainly helping them out there a little bit. Xerneas taking the heat. Kaneki diving on forward. Super low. There we go. Gets capped by a hidden. And that's going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back. The Spectra immediately finishes off Xerneas. Now it's X-Ray under pressure. Panthera going to strike a very devastating first blood in this map.
All 5 down as well. Kaneki with the early death will be the first to respawn, but you have to wait for Jimmy before Ultra Prime can get anything done here. You see Ultra Prime having to give up all the space there. They were far lower in HP, despite having the shout available. You know, both teams did shout. Panthera used first, Ultra Prime used second. Xerneas is still low HP, has to drop off the actual high ground, and with that, Ultra Prime, Kaneki ended up being the only one still there. He was the first dead.
Now trying to get straight back into the mix of things is Ultra Prime. It's still essentially a neutral fight. Only difference is obviously there is technically the positional difference in the point capping up for Panthera, but no ultimates in play yet as both teams still jostling forward. No one quite getting the better end of the exchange. Couple of shots onto Spectre to keep him honest. He's coming up on a blade, though. X-Ray wants to go in and get dirty in the scrap. What can he find, though? Vulture's a little bit lean on the backside, but it's Zernius the first casualty. There we go. Quick follow-up, Vulture protect. That should be enough to open the door for Ultra Prime. They just need to confirm these last few.
2-for-1 trade there, especially when you consider that Protect is dead. That's your main tank. Nicky is gone as well, but until Protect comes back, Panthera can't actually go in. Spectre's low HP, so not expecting a blade to come through just yet. Trying to keep their toes on the point as they go. The point's still under control for Panthera.
It's taking a beating to make it happen, but they're actually still in it. And the kill on Kia was massive, because I was going to point out that he had the sound barrier, whereas Lego didn't. Heading comes straight back in, gets